Nonsense.
All right, guys. Welcome to Live on the Porch.
Live on a porch. Here we are.
What are we talking about today, honey? It's all you. I did last time.
We're talking about our why. I think we talked about it, or I don't know if it was a direct episode, but it may have been intertwined into an episode of your why, like in business. Why do you keep doing stuff? Why do you continue business when times are tough? And I don't know, the other week Gail said, we come up with these, we have an outline of different stuff, when ideas come or whatever. And she said to me the other day, she's like, what are we going to talk about today? And it was in the middle of the day. I was shot. I think she was shot, but she wanted to get it done. And I'm like, it was like writer's block. It was like, you can't.
Coming up with ideas is like the worst part of content creation. It's such a chore.
At a moment's notice. Like
on a schedule, yeah. To say,
like,
okay, Mondays at 8 a.m., we're going to come up with content ideas.
Yeah.
And then Mondays at 8 a.m., you have writer's block.
Exactly. So. That's kind of my point. So anyway, Gail said that and then created a form that said, when you get ideas, jot them down. I'm usually up at like 4 or 5 o'clock every morning. My ideas come to me early in the morning, and especially when I'm doing work, if I'm in the grow room and I'm doing just mundane stuff, it doesn't really take a lot of thought process. My mind usually wanders, or I start to think about things that have to get done, and that's usually where development happens for me. So anyway, last week when I was harvesting, I think I wrote down like 10 different ideas in the form, just because I was clear and focused and ready to go, so in the middle of the afternoon, asking me what kind of ideas, it's like asking somebody, what do you want for dinner? Dinner.
Totally, yeah.
Dinner.
Exactly.
If anybody ever wants to make money, and this is recorded, all right, by the way, you open up a place the restaurant's called I Don't Care.
Or I don't know.
Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't matter. Or any one of those things. Because when the person says I don't care, you're going to be like, boom, we're going. Right in the car. Where we're going. Yeah. I don't care.
Okay, so what are we talking about today again?
We're talking about our why, but instead of a business why, which I guess it could be tied into business why, but why for our personal life.
For life in general,
right?
Yeah.
Like everybody, the age-old question: what is life? Like
what's the purpose of life? What's the meaning of life?
Wasn't
that a British comedy?
A bumper sticker?
No, who were the ones that did the Holy Grail?
That was A Life of Brian. It wasn't a meaning of, maybe it was called The Meaning of Life. I don't know.
I thought there was one called The Meaning of Life. Anyway,
it's possible.
It doesn't matter.
But I think I'm sure we all think that, at one point or another. What's the meaning? What is it? Why do we wake up every morning and do the stuff that we do? And I think everybody's got a different reason for that. And it's what keeps you going. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy's like, having a good day. He's like, and then, 1 minute driving down the road, having a good day. And then the next minute thinking, I'm going to drive my car at 150 miles an hour into a tree. Because stuff just,
that's a lot,
was overpowering and burning. And it's like, all right, is that really, it's what you want to do? No. The person that said that doesn't want to be dead. Okay, it doesn't do that.
It's just an outlet. It's just frustration.
Like, I'll tell a story about our oldest. I don't even remember how old he was when he did it, but he was in school.
Here we go.
He was in school, it was in class, and the class was rowdy, and it was a big mess, and, he was just like, So he was typing and doing whatever on his keyboard, and he typed in, I wish I were dead. Well, in school, that sets off red flags like crazy, and he learned that really quick. So next thing I know, we're pulled into this like therapy session and going to this guy. So I go to this guy and I'm sitting in there and I'm looking at the guy going, I wish I were dead right now. Like, I don't want to be dead.
Yeah, and guys, we're not making light of suicide and
not
stuff
at all.
Like that. Watch our previous episode on depression.
Yeah, I have
that hits close to home. We're not making light of really serious trouble in life and mentally, but
100% not a joke. I have my own suicide story for myself, for my own problem, that I hit rock bottom with depression and stuff. So it is not to take lightly at all, but I've learned from it and learned, just like my son had to learn, you need an outlet for when those things happen.
You need a why.
That's
like
exactly.
Why keep going?
Why not, check out? Why? Because everybody's got a different why. So you have to figure it out. And and again, I'm sitting in front of this therapist saying, I understand my kid said that, but let's look at the reason he said it, And I remember watching a comedian the one day, and he said the same thing. He's like, "You ever talking to somebody, and you just look at a window and go, I'm gonna put my head through that window," and it's like the guy really doesn't want to put his head through the window, but
you just
we
want
all
to
know,
get away from where you're
like
at.
my situation would be better if my head went through that window than talking to this person right now. We've all been there, and if you haven't, wait, you'll get there. Exactly, you haven't been around enough people. And again, it's not a joke, but at the same time, let's look at people in our lives, people that everybody knows. One most recent, Robin Williams, couldn't have been a funnier individual. Talk about depression. Sometimes humor is how people deal with depression, and maybe in a good way, and then maybe other ways that it's so covered up that you don't even know what it is. So this isn't getting into a depression thing. We have a whole nother episode for that. This is a why. This is more on the happy side of how to climb yourself out of depression or how to get yourself through those tough days. And when I made the notes for this, and I said, the why, not just business why, and they could coincide, or be kind of synonymous with each other, not just your business why, but your personal why.
And I think we've talked about the why in business a lot, and I've mentioned it a million times already, but I feel like I just can't get enough of it, is the Simon Sinek start with why. People don't buy why you do stuff or buy what you're doing, they buy why you do it. And it's, okay, so if that's how we run our business, then how do we run our lives? Like what is sustaining us when the business isn't enough? Like if, there's definitely days where we are beat and exhausted and whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, why are we doing this? And then we go to our business why, relationship. Okay, is that enough? And it's like, oh my gosh, we just need a break, And it's like, why does the business why even fall short sometimes? It's because we're not meant to find our, our purpose in life in our career. This is an outlet. Our business is a way for us to showcase, our work, and we each shine in different types of work. And that's, we aim to bring honor and glory to God by how we work and how hard we work and the things that we accomplish. But the business alone is not our sole reason for living. We don't live to work in Back Mountain Microgreens.
Right.
Is that what you were kind of thinking?
Yeah, and I was going to say my notes, and in my notes, Gail was looking at my notes when I wrote, a why, and I wrote in there Gail mornings. And she's like, what does that mean? I love Gail in the morning more than anything. I love to see her in the morning, and I love the way she looks in the morning. I love everything about her. I love her every part of the day. Not every part. She's a pain in the rear sometimes too. But, in the morning, it's just like when I wake up, she's that just unadulterated, perfect, right there, right in the morning. And for some people, that's like a scary thing. We said something about
coyote ugly.
People put on, like makeup and stuff, and then you wake up the next morning and that person doesn't have the makeup, and you're like, wow, who's that?
I don't wear makeup. No makeup going on right now.
And there's nothing wrong with wearing makeup. Gail's put on makeup before, you do stuff, and it's fun for that. But that's exactly I almost want to say for dress up, for going out. But that's what it is. It's just that I like just not having superficial stuff. I like having real relationships, trusting things, and the why is to find more of that and to find the positive and keep it going and build on it. So finding the Gail mornings in my note was,
which, by the way, I have to say, looking at your notes is like a Picasso, guys. Like I look at it and I'm like, okay, I need somebody to decode this for me, because I look at it and I'm like, I totally did not get that out of it.
They're just random thoughts, and it's like, all right, write it down. It's like shorthand, because I'm not going to write a whole story. Just here are key points, so that it's like bullet pointed, cliff notes that'll come to and then pour out and become a storyline.
Yeah.
So for me personally, that's right now in this realm of life where we're at. That's exciting for me, being married to Gail and waking up every morning and seeing her. And I'm usually out of the bedroom and doing my own thing for a couple of hours before she even comes to me. But I look forward to it. But that's not just it. I look forward to, yesterday I spent a day out with my son, the oldest one, picking blueberries. That's a why. For me, I have quality time as a love language. I love that. Acts of service, quality time, those things are fantastic for me. So those play into my why. And when I get to do those things, the why and the bucket, as Gail calls it, like your bucket, is it full or is it empty? Or is it halfway? And you're like, oh, like I'm here and there, and then when it's overflowing, it's like, that's my why and I've got it filled. When it's not, you're just you got to remember that your bucket sometimes empties, and you got to remember your why. And
I think the why is the good stuff. Just like you're saying, you love seeing me in the mornings. You loved going out yesterday and picking blueberries. James 1:17 says that everything good comes from God. And it's going after that instead of all of the distractions in life. You know what I mean? Outside of business.
Chasing the real, chasing the pure. And that's kind of what I was, putting at. And everything that we say, in my opinion, doesn't have to be, everybody's got an opinion. So it doesn't have to be, oh, well, you said this and you meant people that wear makeup are bad. No, that's not what I meant at all.
No, yeah.
And so everything that we say is our opinion. It's our why.
I don't even know if we want to get into the one lady we know that wears a lot of makeup that you actually admire because it's like a work of art.
And that's it. It's funny because Gail said the other day, we were there, this person that we know, and we left, and Gail said to me, honestly, she's like, I sat there looking at her thinking, I don't look like her. Is that what he wants? And I'm like, absolutely not. But the girl does a work of art on her face. I mean, it is not like Mimi from Drew Carey's show. All right, not like,
I don't know how we call that. Well, that's more like a Picasso.
not from a circus standpoint, But it was just every detail that she has. She spends time.
Yeah, and you've actually asked her, and she has told us that she spends a lot of time.
And it looks fantastic as an art form.
Yeah.
For me personally, I as a relationship or somebody like that to like or want, I would honestly like to see her without it, just to see if she looks like a totally different person. I'd like to see a side-by-side picture.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it's fantastic. I think it's great when people wear makeup. Makeup industry is a huge part out there. And
we have customers from the cosmetics industry.
Yeah. So, that, again, there's not knocks. There's good to everything. There's moderations for things. But it's you're happy that, in my opinion, is your why. Because if you're not happy, then there's no why. Why are you happy?
I think that's a slippery slope, though, because feelings are fleeting, like when you're I get it, like, okay, so if you're looking after joy, where do you find joy when you're not happy,
when you're not joyful? Well, yeah. And I get it, like people could say, oh, well, guy goes out and gets drunk, he's happy. Okay, for the time being.
His wife might not be.
Anyway. Or whatever happens, I mean, that's my point of moderation. I mean, we have a husky dog, and he is not enjoying the heat too much.
It's a warm one today.
We stay in the shade. So anyway, guys, that's my thought is on a why, and I think that we all need to find a why and figure out what it is, and for your personal and for your business. Maybe you need a why on why do I wake up every morning and go to my other why. A lot of it might be financial. That's understandable. We all need, finances.
I think one of the things that I read a long time ago or heard a long time ago is to look at your life, figure out what's valuable, and then look at your schedule and see if you are spending time on what is bringing you value. So for instance, if when you write your list of values, if time with your family is number one on the list and you're working 80 hours a week at a job that you may make tons of money at, but that keeps you away from your family, there's a big discrepancy there. So, either you're going to live with the fact that there's a big discrepancy, or maybe it's kind of an opportunity to look at those two things juxtaposed and decide, well, maybe I should change my career or do something different or something like that. But I think
that's the same concept of looking at your checkbook.
Yeah.
Where do you spend your money at?
Yeah. Follow the money.
Where's your money going? Now, obviously you have a mortgage, you've got car payments or whatever, you have bills and things like that, but then you look at the other parts and, maybe you're spending a ton going out to eat and you're looking at your finances going, where's all our money going? Well,
I think you could kind of decide though, what is your why based on what your values are,
Yeah.
So you're gonna get into telling us your why or no?
This is my why. I said it.
Oh.
I said my why is living for all of the love that I know that is out there and the relationship that I have that are close to me and growing them and being able to. And I have to learn that. Listen, I said I went out, picking blueberries yesterday with my son, but I feel like I've been lost from them for a while. And
Yeah.
yesterday was a step towards my why of getting, like cracking through some things to become more involved and understand his why and my why, and take time, like else, to take time away from the business. We spend so much time. I work 7 days a week, and one of our other sons today showed up after his job, and he just came in and wanted to have something to eat. I stopped what I was doing, because if I don't, that time
you
is
miss
missed.
out. Yeah, the kids are getting older. They have their own schedules now.
Yeah.
They're driving. They're working. They have their own lives, and it's you're not the idol anymore as dad.
Yeah.
You're okay when I could fit you in.
And Gail does the same thing. She was the other day. She went out to the movies with one of the boys. I didn't go. That was the time for them to build on something for them. And that's just one thing. We have a family. Maybe you're single. Maybe you have a mate. Maybe you don't. Like whatever it is, you're building your why. But the important part is to really look at it and find
focus on it.
Yeah.
and prioritize it. Yeah.
Exactly, because the more that you can find your why, in my opinion, the I don't want to say the happier, the easier, the more developed you'll be in yourself. And if you're not good for yourself, you're not good for anybody else.
And the more you can commit to something else, like a job, like a career,
or a relationship, and bring if you go into a relationship broken, it's going to be tough. You need to go in as a whole person.
Yeah.
Rather than being broken. And if you know what it is that you like and don't like going in, and you're able to communicate that, you're way ahead in doing that. My parents have been married for over 50 years. I don't think they know each other. We're just talking about that the other day. And I think that they can benefit from the 5 love languages, because I don't think that I know they love each other, but I think that they don't understand how they're actually showing the love to each other.
They got married in a time when
they married when they were teenagers.
It was different. Like everybody now talks about relationships and how deeply connected you are. And I think
it
was a hustle from the very beginning for them, raising kids and supporting a family, and it was.
But it was life. It was large families. You got married, you had children, and you worked, and that was it. And you worked.
There was no time for anything else
to discuss. Yeah, it was back in the day when you didn't discuss feelings, or care about that. And I understand that that's a whole broad picture of feelings. Okay, yeah, we all have feelings, but you also, got to buck up and deal with your feelings too, and not fall apart. But, our families grew up in the old school time, and I think that there wasn't time to discuss any of the other stuff. It was do what you're supposed to do, get through it, and that's life, and that's love, and as long as you stay married, you'll love each other. Well, there's a lot more to it.
Like enjoying who you're married to.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talked about this about just friends or close people that we know, about when the kids leave and you become an empty nester, you better learn how to like each other. You know? And it's like, well, you should learn to like each other now.
Yeah.
Not learn to reinvent yourself, after the kids leave.
Yeah. As a couple, yeah.
So again, there's another why. And I think I don't know. I don't read a lot of books. I am not a reader. I am a Cliff Notes person. I am a movie person if I wanted to. And I enjoy documentaries. I enjoy truth. I enjoy things like that. But if I were to say, and be bold and brazen enough to say, the Bible is number 1 and Dr. Gary Chapman's love languages would be number 2 in life, because it takes the stuff from the Bible and breaks it down into something to talk about relationship in layman's terms. And there's only 5 of them, so you could pretty much figure it out. It's not like, well, there's 353 of them, and good luck.
Yeah.
No, there's 5 things, and you can pretty much figure it out. And it would change your life beyond belief. Has changed mine. I think it's changed Gail's.
And I think
that,
like of all the potential whys out there biblically, that's what Jesus tells us is how people will recognize that we belong to him is by how we love everybody, not just your husband or your kids or your wife or your parents or siblings, whatever. It's
the greatest
how you
commandment.
Love everybody. Yeah.
Lord, what is the greatest commandment? Tell us. And is first is to love God with all your heart, and then to love your neighbor just the same. So
when I think about my why, and like what you said, I always talk about like the cup is my love cup, like full or empty or whatever. If my love cup is like empty,
it's a bad day.
It's hard to get anything else done because that's the focus. It's almost like breathing, guys. Like if my why bucket, whatever my why is, for me, let's just say it's love in the form of hugs. If my hug bucket is empty, there's like no use to even trying to do technical writing or accounting or anything like that because it's like all my body wants, all my brain wants is a hug. So, I mean, it's not complicated. It's just doing the soul searching enough to figure out outside of work, what is it? And I think, what is it that keeps you going? And I run on hugs, guys. What can I say? That's my why. So
that's it. Easy peasy. So if you got a why or you need help finding your why,
put it in the comments.
Put it in a comment. Let us know what else you want to talk about. I threw out like 10 things the other week. I harvest on Thursdays. I'll probably have another 10 or 12 this week because stuff just comes to me. But
at 4 a.m.
Usually.
All right, guys. Back Mountain Microgreens. What do we do? What do we do at Back Mountain Microgreens?
We sell awesome chocolate.
We connect with people with the stuff that we sell from our grow room.
That's
we also got some pretty cool pharmacist t-shirts. Check them out online, backmountainmicrogreens.com.
Get the merch.
All right, guys. See you next time. Have a good day.
Bye.